With everything that's happening right now, it looks like XRP could be gearing up for a move that catches everyone off guard in a big way. In today's video, we're diving deep into why this could happen, because the market is currently on fire with major developments. Bitcoin has blasted to new highs. Altcoins have surged across the board, and XRP, it's been riding a wave of bullish momentum thanks to some very favorable news. On top of that, we just saw trillions of dollars injected into the stock market following the latest update on US-China tariffs. There's no shortage of action, and we're here to break it all down. Let's start with this game-changing update. The US has slashed tariffs on Chinese goods from a whopping 145% down to just 30%, but only for the next 90 days. Meanwhile, China has responded by lowering its tariffs on American products from 125% to 10%, also for a 90-day window. This is the kind of breakthrough news that investors have been waiting on for months. We actually got an early hint that a deal was on the table over the weekend, and now it's official. The announcement dropped today, and it's nothing short of massive. Think about it, a drop from 145% to 30% is huge. These tariffs had been putting serious pressure on both American and Chinese businesses, forcing them to rethink supply chains and scramble for alternative markets. With this relief, companies can finally breathe a little. This move is already sending shockwaves through both traditional and crypto markets. It's a clear bullish signal, especially because no one thought a resolution would come this fast. But here we are. The two sides met on Saturday, continued discussions through Sunday, finalized an agreement by Sunday night, and revealed it officially today. And guess what? This is just the beginning. More deals are reportedly on the way, and if they land, they could trigger even bigger moves across the financial world. That's something every investor needs to keep an eye on. Following the announcement, we saw the US stock market surge by $2 trillion at opening, just to give you an idea of how powerful this news really is. Boom, just like that, Wall Street jumped on the news like sharks in the water. Before regular trading even opened, during those after-hours sessions, investors were already piling in. The buying frenzy had begun. Institutions were snapping up assets like crazy before the general public could even react. And of course, the ripple effect was immediate. Crypto markets followed suit. As soon as the US stock market surged, digital currencies caught the signal and took off. XRP, Bitcoin, and a number of other altcoins experienced a sharp boost. Interestingly, XRP and several altcoins showed stronger momentum than Bitcoin itself, which caught a lot of eyes. Meanwhile, President Trump has added a new twist. He's threatening to increase tariffs again if other nations don't comply with his fresh stance on drug policies. So even with recent relief, we're not exactly in the clear. There's still a lot of uncertainty in the air. And speaking of uncertainty, Basant recently weighed in with some bold opinions on tariffs and global trade relationships, and we'll be diving into those in a moment. The bottom line, this isn't a straight shot to the moon. We're not looking at Bitcoin soaring to $200,000 overnight, or XRP hitting $20 in a single leap. That's just not realistic. Instead, brace yourselves for a bumpy ride. Volatility is going to remain a major theme, possibly even more intense than what we've seen so far, and it's crucial that you understand what's triggering these swings. Right now, one of the biggest catalysts is trade policy. Tariffs are front and center. Beyond that, global political tensions like the ongoing friction between India and Pakistan, or the conflict involving Russia and Ukraine, also influence market behavior, but often in a more indirect way. Then there's corporate performance, which can't be overlooked. The results from companies like Tesla, Nvidia, and others in the upcoming second quarter are going to reveal a lot about the underlying health of the economy. A booming or slumping economy will absolutely reflect in how digital assets behave. Now, with all that in mind, I've got to share something exciting. I currently have an open position on XRP that's sitting at a 43% gain. I also just closed another trade that pulled in over 50%, and the best part, I make this kind of insight available to all of you completely free, no strings attached. Over in my Crypto Crusaders trading group, I always aim to keep things transparent. So if you want to stay updated on exactly when I make my moves, see the trades I open, and read my personal insights on where the market is heading, you're more than welcome to join us. Just click the Crypto Crusaders link down in the description. It's completely free to get started. Follow our simple 3-step sign up, and you're in. And here's the exciting part. My 2 official exchange partners, BTCC and Binance, who proudly sponsor this channel, are offering exclusive bonuses just for our community. Both platforms are giving you a 10% deposit bonus plus major discounts on trading fees. For example, if you move $100,000 worth of XRP over from Coinbase, you could get up to $10,000 in bonus credits, money that can go straight toward covering your trading costs. That's a huge advantage and can save you a ton over time. Even better, if you consistently mirror the trades I'm making and manage your risk properly, you could potentially make far more than what you initially deposit. It's all about smart moves, good timing, and staying informed. Here's how it works. Step 1. Sign up through the link. Step 2. Make your first deposit. Step 3. Submit your email and exchange user ID to unlock access to our private Discord or Telegram group, whichever platform you prefer. Now, just to be clear, none of this is financial advice. I'm not telling anyone what to do. I'm simply sharing what I do with my own portfolio and offering that information for educational and entertainment purposes. Now, shifting gears back to the big picture. While the trade breakthrough with China is worth celebrating, we've got to stay grounded. President Trump has already turned his attention to the European Union. In fact, he recently claimed that the EU is even tougher to deal with than China. That's a bold statement and a strong signal that more trade friction could be on the way. And just like we saw months of tension with China, it looks like we could be in for another round, this time with Europe. Remember, the EU isn't small potatoes. It represents trillions of dollars in global GDP and carries influence on par with China in many areas. If another economic standoff begins, we're bound to see ripples across both the stock and crypto markets. What's important to note here is that some digital assets, XRP included, may be more exposed to these kinds of geopolitical shifts. In fact, XRP's ties to financial institutions in both Europe and North America could make it more sensitive to changes in those relationships than others like Bitcoin, which behaves more independently. That means we need to be prepared, not just for potential green days, but for sharp drops too. This could be similar to the volatility we experienced in early March or April, when the markets were all over the place. If you've been following my videos since then, you already know how intense things got. So the key takeaway: stay alert, stay flexible, and don't underestimate the impact that international politics can have on your crypto investments. But that's not the only headline making waves. US Treasury Secretary Bessent made some key comments that are worth your attention. He explained that while the US has lowered tariffs on Chinese goods for now, it can easily snap back to the levels we saw on April 2nd. In his words, it's unlikely that tariffs will ever dip below 10%. In fact, the current rates are being treated as the minimum, and the previous April 2nd levels are the maximum ceiling. So what does that mean in plain English? It means the US is leaving the door wide open. If China makes a move that Washington doesn't like, tariffs can shoot right back up, potentially over 100%, without needing to renegotiate from